Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 15th annual informative stream. Thank you all for joining us this Sunday afternoon. I am SHM, and I'm here alongside with my boy Faulty.
Hello.
And we're going to be giving you kind of a lowdown as to the events that are going to be going on this year, as well as kind of giving you a list of dates to go ahead and put on your calendar and kind of stay updated so that you can join us this year in all of our many events, because we do have a couple of really interesting things to share with you this year. So, yeah, we're excited for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
I guess we'll go right into it. So if you haven't heard already, and this was a special preview to those who were joining us at AGDQ, but we gave you a little preview as to the events that are going to accompany us this year alongside the main event. And those are going to be our individual community invitational races that you can find right now on our website, 1545.org. Make sure you spell that out. Okay. And you just click on event calendar, as you'll see Faulty do up here to the left, and you can see our humongous 2019 event calendar. So we're not just doing the main race this year, the main relay race with all the teams and all the runners, but we're actually inviting out all of you people who want to really showcase off your game before we get started. And so we're inviting all 13 games to have an awesome race between a few runners that sign up. And yeah, you just get to showcase that game, and we get to, kind of hype those communities and give them a little more publicity before we actually jump into the main relay race.
Yeah, it should be a pretty fun time. I'm really excited to see. As the 1545 is sort of focused on being a really community-led event, and we're making a balanced race over such a long course of like 50 hours. It's going to be really exciting to see. Probably a little bit. You could call it higher level gameplay, just a little bit more tight on these shorter scales, but still in the same sort of supportive atmosphere with this community. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, so while we did call it the Invitational Series, we are really reaching out to every single runner within the community. Please do. We do need people to sign up to get put on the stream to race and showcase off your run and your community and the work that you've put into your games. That being said, we are trying to take the top 4 runners that sign up for the closest race, for the closest, getting down in the nitty gritty. We want to have a really cool race on the stream. So keep in mind that if you do want to sign up, you're more than welcome to, but we are going to be looking to take, of course, the top times that do submit.
That's right. And of course, as races go and you try to schedule things, you got to have some backups. So we will also be looking at the next 2 or 3 places to get some backup runners. So just in case, somebody has to drop for some reason, some scheduling doesn't work out, we'll still be taking some extra people just above that top 4. So if you're scared that you don't hit that top 4, you're maybe 5th or 6th, you think, sign up anyway. You never know. Hopefully we'll get you in.
Yeah. And there's a clear rule set for all the races, which is really nice. If you click on each of our individual events, it'll take you to the rule set page so that you can see everything that you might need to know in case you're a little worried about how the race is going to go. Basically, we're going to open up signups. I think 3 weeks prior to the race date. Yeah, I think that's
Correct.
right. And then signups will be open for a week. We'll take the top 4 runners based on their estimates, their PBs. And then basically, as soon as we close signups, we will contact the runners and our backups the day afterwards. And then we'll be ready to go. The other thing that we're looking for is if you don't think that you're a top runner of the game, but you still want to, be there and support us and maybe help the race go well, we are going to be looking for external commentary.
Correct. We're hoping that for every one of the races, we'll have about two commentators that know the game fairly well, can look at other people's runs and hype it up, know what to look for, know how to explain things, and just sort of gel well together so that the rest of the community, everybody else who's watching, can be brought along and really involved in it.
Yeah, and while we are, looking for commentators ourselves, it doesn't hurt to say to come out to one of us and be like, hey, I'd be really interested to do commentary for that. We're more than welcome to, we're more than open to accepting of DMs and personal messages of wanting to get involved. Obviously, you're being involved helps us even more, and it gives us less work on our plates. So we really appreciate it when you do reach out.
Yeah, feel free to DM any of the organizers in Discord. By the way, if you're not in it already, discord.1545.org or on this Discord icon up here will take you right into our server. We've got almost 200 people now in there. It's kind of amazing, actually. But yeah, feel free
Yeah,
to
it's
join that and hang out.
definitely been growing and growing. So, with all the invitational series leading up to the main event, we do want to be transparent with you guys. We are trying to turn the 1545 into an affiliate status channel. We're hoping that once we gain affiliate status, we can find something unique to do with bits. We can start creating little emotes for those of you who are truly dedicated to the 1545 and want to spam your stuff during the race and during other informative streams like this. So yeah, sell out with us today. Exactly. Just like Vanny said. Yeah. So, we are looking for that. That was one of the main benefits of doing these invitational races was we could finally bring this channel up to an affiliate status and maybe, progress from there in the future.
For sure, yeah. Another huge part of doing these events, as for the past 2 years, we've basically just done one stream. We've had the summer event, and then we're dead for a year, and we come back the next year. We did the summer event, and we've been dead for a year. So this year, we're hoping, as part of going to affiliate, we're going to be a little bit more active throughout the months leading up to the event. Hopefully, we'll also maybe have some things after the event and just be a little bit more active in general, just to sort of get the name out there, keep it in people's minds, and really grow the community even more.
Yeah, I mean, there's been talk in the past of possibly having a winter any percent or any percent restricted event. We've had some interest here and there. It's not something that's necessarily in the woodworks, but it's always something that we could probably look forward to as well in terms of being more active on Twitch. But, we're also looking to maybe do things to sponsor the other individual communities relay events, such as Sprash Fecta, the 602, the 301.
Yeah.
So these are just little ideas that we've been throwing around in the future that you can look forward to.
Yeah, and before we move on, I guess while we've got the site up here, just in case you forget, we did say, signups opening 3 weeks before each event. In case you can't remember when that is, or, it's hard to calculate that. It is pretty hard, especially when we go across months. All of these event pages have this column over here that gives you all the times that you need to know about. And then I guess the other part is, obviously, if you're going to make a submission, you're going to have an account on the site. There's this great link up here for creating an account. Fill it out, hit sign up. I've already got an account, so I'm just going to cheat and go to sign in. Once you do that, we'll be back on the page. And then when submissions open up, there'll be a button down here in this corner that says submit or run. And that'll be pretty much it. So just in case that wasn't clear and you weren't sure about it, there you go.
Yeah, and you've got some time. If you're not at top time right now, you got about 2 months to practice. You're 2 to 3 months, depending on what your game is. So, yeah, I mean, start practicing your games, get your times in. And if you go back to the event calendar page for me, Faulty, you'll see that down at the very bottom, we do have a free weekend open after our Super Mario Galaxy 2 run. We're going to be doing a brief race recap. We're going to be going through all the invitational races, kind of hitting the high points, hitting the low points, showing off some clips of some great, stuff for you before we get started with our main signups that are opening on May 5th. And Faulty, do you want to kind of talk about why our signups so late this year? It seems really, really kind of last minute, but what was the philosophy behind this?
Sure. I guess just real quick, I see Nostalgia had a question about accounts from last year. Yes, your accounts from last year should still work. If they don't, DM me on Discord. We'll figure it out. But anyway, back to signups. So signups this year are May 5th to May 18th. As you know, in the past 2 years, we've done signups right about now. We opened them up pretty much right after AGDQ, closed them off pretty quickly, and then created the teams and let that go for a few months. And one of the main pieces of feedback that we've gotten last year and the year before, actually, was that some people felt that, or at least interpreted that, the effort that they put in wasn't necessarily matched by some other people on their teams. I definitely don't want to go into specifics. There weren't really any that got brought up. It was sort of a more general feedback. And one thing that we thought was part of that was, people sign up in the middle of January, and then they've got 5 months before anything happens. And it's hard to really keep that motivation there and really be working towards it. And, people get busy, and that's fine. It drops out of your mind. Everything like that is fine. But that means that when we get to the event, some people aren't necessarily as up to date. They aren't derusted fully. They haven't done a number of runs, and some people felt that that brought down their team a little bit, and they weren't super happy. So one thing we did with this was move the signups way far out into May. So that's a whole almost 4 months later in the year, hoping that this means that we've announced the event now. People who want to get their runs in can start practicing, get a few runs in, start getting better and better, really get their skills up, and by the time we get to signups, we'll have a much better idea of where people are. Another thing that would happen a lot in signups with people who did practice a lot was they'd put in a fairly high estimate. If we're talking like Spyro 2, for example, you could put in a 3 hour estimate because you haven't really done a run of the game before and you don't know how long it's going to take to improve. By the time we get to July, you could be sub 2, right? And that's a whole hour ahead of your estimate.
Yeah.
Taking that into account for team balancing got a lot more difficult. And so we're hoping, again, that having these signups so much later will encourage people to get more accurate estimates and will make team balancing for us a lot easier.
Yeah, we also think that having signups closer to the event will give people a little more of an idea as to their availability. They'll be able to say, like, hey, I'll be there, hey, I won't. As you know, the organizers have kind of suffered in the last 2 years with dropouts, and we've had to find last minute backups and stuff like that. And of course, that also kind of hinders balancing and screws things up. So we're hoping to kind of negate some of that as well.
Exactly. Yep. They are still open for 2 weeks, so it's not a super tight window. You have time if you forget and you don't get it caught up. But yeah,
I think
early
the other
May.
thing too that we really wanted to hit, Faulty, is that uh, we've been asked a lot of questions as to should there be a certain um, minimum required time in order to submit for a race like this? Because people
Mm-hmm.
are competitive. You want to have the fastest people on your team. You want people to be practiced, and we've always been this. We've always wanted to include as many people as possible, right? We've wanted
Right.
anybody who wants to sign up can sign up. We're going to try to find a spot for you. We want you to be involved. We want you to make a name for yourself and meet other people and really be a part of this humongous team event. But we do understand the competitive spirit of it. And so while we don't necessarily have a written out, you must have this time in order to submit this game, we do know that balancing will be much easier on our end if we know that you have been practicing prior to this event and we can see that and we've noticed that you've been practicing versus I sign up for an event in January. I may or may not practice, and it'll be a big surprise in July, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And we of course are still focused on being an inclusive community. We don't want to be shutting people out, but we want to make sure that people who are signing up are being involved, being a good participant, a good teammate to everybody else, so that everybody has a good time.
At least taking it somewhat seriously, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not purposely ignoring the run or choosing not to run the games or whatever it might be.
Yeah, and we are still having the signups 2 months before the actual event because another, decent part of what this race means and really provides for a lot of people is a chance to interact with people, with the runners from different communities, right? So if you're in the Spyro community, you don't necessarily know many people in the Rareware community or the Mario community. And one thing that we've done
Unless
with
you're gonna say
having,
chat.
correct, and a few other people as well. But having the signups in early January and the teams announced in like March meant that you had 3 months to really interact with your teammates and get to know them and hang out and get involved in those communities. And so we're still leaving 2 months between the signups and the actual event date, and still a full month after teams as well, so that can still happen. You still get to gel with your teammates and get involved with them. I think that's a pretty
Yeah.
important part of what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, we still need the time in between May 18th to June 2nd to actually sit down all together and do the team balancing and figure out backups and make sure everybody's good with everybody else and, stuff like that. So it'll still be similar to how the way we've done things in the past. We're just giving you guys more time outside of this event to prep for it, along with the invitational races and to really, show us what you've got right then and there when signups do open versus maybe showing us something different in a few months later.
Exactly. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, other than that, those are kind of the expectations for this year, is that we've kind of condensed the schedule a little bit and also expanded it as well with all of our invitational races supporting those individual games within our community. But we're looking for keeping the competitiveness and also keeping the community open and getting more people involved. And again, if you're interested in signing up for our invitational races, please don't hesitate. Like we said, these will all open 3 weeks before each individual event rather. And all of the races are on Saturday and Sunday. We figured those days would be the most available for most of our runners. So you don't need to worry if you've got a 9 to 5 or if you're in school, because these are all going to be on weekends. So
yeah, we're hoping to involve as many people. We also know, most of us organizers are in America. We have a lot of people in Europe. We have some people in Australia. We have people from all over. And so what we're trying to do with these events, you'll notice that the times for them, they're estimated, but we're going to try to make it good for everybody. Early afternoon for America, early evening, mid-evening for Europe, and I think that's late morning for Australia. So hopefully it works out well. That's something we want to make sure is that, everybody is able to make it to these.
yeah, absolutely. So, definitely a shorter, informative stream than I'm sure you guys are used to. I'm sure it was a surprise saying that we are going to hold off on signups until the beginning of May.
Yeah.
But the good news is that right now, runners, you can go and decide, am I wanting to do these invitational races? Am I wanting to do commentary for these races? You can choose and you can work, and you've got about 2 or 3 months, depending on the day that you want to race, to prep and sign up and make a name for yourself on our channel.
Yeah,
It'll be a lot of fun.
One thing to mention is that these invitational series are the full completion categories, the same ones that are in the 1545. So it's not like we're doing Sunshine any percent. It's still Sunshine 120 shines.
Yes. All of these are the actual 1545 category. Yeah, that's probably a good thing to say.
Mm-hmm. I guess real quick, since we're pretty much wrapping up, I can go onto a different site real quick.
Oh yeah.
Nope, I spelled that wrong. Typing blind. Please be the right one. Did it even load? Hello?
Looks like we're on.
It didn't even load. Okay. And there we go. All right, so this is on a separate site that is not currently the same live one, but it's the same idea. You can still sign in to your account. And I'm just going to go show you what the signups actually look like. So I'm on this event, and here we have the submissions open. So the submit a run button down in the bottom left. Once that happens for the event, this will show up. Just hit that. It gives you the game, the category. You put in your PB and an estimate. Any comment you want, that's going to be private. Don't worry about if you have some special comment that you want on there, feel free to add something. Hit submit, and you're done. And then you can go to submissions and see. And I have 2 on there because I messed up how I programmed this. So yay. But that's all it takes. That's all you got to do. It's just make an account, do that simple 2 steps, and you're done. You're in.
Perfect. Well, that about wraps it up for me, Faulty. I can't really think of anything else that we want to comment. Again, if you guys do have questions, you're more than welcome to ask them in the chat. Or, if you think of them later, you can ask in general chat in Discord.
Yep.
Join the Discord, spread the word on Twitter. Get people involved for commentary, and I guess we'll see you in March.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We've got a few other things that we aren't ready to talk about yet, but I think they're going to be pretty great if they do work out. I'm super excited for the coming months.
Same.
But yeah, thanks for watching, and questions in Discord or in here will be around for a few more minutes in chat if you have them there. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see everybody later.
Bye-bye.